are about to watch Buses Dawn to Dusk, brought to you by the Land Transport Authority. We keep your world moving.
When I was a child, I dreamt of working as a bus conductor. I loved the idea of collecting fares and issuing colorful bus tickets to commuters. Sadly, that job no longer exists. But I still love buses, especially cool ones like this. There's one more thing that excites me, and that's a new bus contracting model. It is changing the bus industry here since May 2016. So let us find out how the changes are benefiting commuters around the clock and why the industry is now more attractive to employees like them. First, we'll meet a rookie bus captain who has recently joined the industry.
I 是在2016年4月开始加入Go Ahead Singapore。在加入之前没有想过是要当车长啊，因为之前都是看到比较年长的巴士车长，然后他的薪水和福利没有什么吸引到我了。后来我在那个新的公司Go Ahead Singapore网站看到他的福利和那些薪水有提升啊，所以我就应征了。
39-year-old Eng Hai was among the first batch of bus captains hired by Go Ahead Singapore. The UK-based firm was the second operator to clinch the tender under the bus contracting model. With more operators, the public bus industry now offers better pay and work environment. At the heart of this new landscape lie the interests of the commuters.
As Singapore progresses and travel demand needs evolve, the situation requires us to revamp the bus system. The government will own all bus infrastructure, including depots, buses, and fleet management system. And the operators will bid for the right to run the services. Right. With this model, LT can respond faster to all the travel demand needs changes.
Commuters in Singapore make more than half of their public transport rides on buses. In recent years, the government has been adding 1,000 new buses under the Bus Service Enhancement Program. This helps to reduce waiting time and crowdedness in buses. More drivers and buses are needed for the city-state that aims to go car light. To Eng Hai, the bus has a rather special status on the road.
我是很喜欢开巴士的，之前有开公司的车哦，在交通阻塞的时候，每次看到那些巴士可以走巴士链，我们车子不能走，有点羡慕啦。现在走了巴士链很开心啊，因为节省很多时间。
As a working mom, I need to rush and travel here and there. So having the bus at regular timing will help me to plan my route. I use a variety of apps, but the most frequent I use is my transport app. It helps me to see the arrival of each bus at the bus stops that I'm taking.
Good morning.
Morning.
每天早上对那些乘客微笑，和他们说早安，他们也会跟你说早安啊，大家都会很开心啊。
Based on our surveys, I think what we have seen is that commuters are generally happier with the bus services. The bus captains are now driving more smoothly, and that they are also more courteous, and buses are now arriving more regularly. This is what we want to see more of.
Before taking the big leap into the bus contracting model, the Land Transport Authority took several years to study similar systems abroad. The team went to London and Perth to learn the city's best practices. London has been tendering bus routes for decades and has a robust model in monitoring service standards. Over in Perth, the government owns the key infrastructure and assets.
We have taken the parts that are more applicable to Singapore context. For example, we want the kind of monitoring of bus service levels that London has been doing. But unlike London, which tenders on the route-by-route basis, we tender our bus services in packages, which are centered around depots. This actually allows operators a base to operate from. What we have learned from Perth is that ownership of infrastructure and assets reduces the barrier entry for operators and risk in their operation, as they can concentrate fully on provision of the bus services for the commuters.
To ensure operators and commuters make a smooth transition to the bus contracting model, LTA has implemented it in phases over several years. The tenders for the first 2 packages were awarded to foreign bus operators. Tower Transit started service in May 2016, followed by Go Ahead in September. They are now running a total of 51 bus services. One manages Bulim Bus Depot in the west, and the other Loyang Bus Depot in the east of the island. The latest package was awarded to SBS Transit in April 2017. The company, alongside fellow local operator SMRT, also manages a total of 11 packages.
Each operator is given a fixed duration to run the bus services, and as and when these contracts expire, we will look towards transiting the industry to competitive tendering.
It's a good change because it provides us an environment to want to do better every day. How can we make the journey safer? How can we better outreach to our commuters? Not forgetting also, how do we manage our operations more efficiently so that we continue to remain more competitive?
We like to bring across best practices from other countries in which we operate, and have introduced those into Singapore to help us be as competitive as we can in the market here.
An island-wide awareness campaign was launched before the 2 new operators started service. There were only 2 main changes commuters had to remember: the new uniforms of the bus captains and the new color of the buses. And this is the color that won the majority of about 57,000 public votes cast. More than 600 buses were transferred from SMRT and SBS Transit to the new operators during the transition. These buses were checked thoroughly to ensure safety and roadworthiness before the transfer. The critical process needed meticulous coordination between hundreds of staff from LTA and the operators.
What was challenging was that the 2 foreign operators are new to the Singapore environment. They are new to the culture, as well as at the same time, I think from our bus captain's point of view, they are also new to all these foreign operators. So we want to make sure that in terms of them crossing over, it is seamless for both parties, whereby the expectations are clear. The moment they switch over, the commuters are expecting a higher service level as well as service reliability. I believe we achieved that because the bus operators have also been very proactive in making sure that they do a lot of dry runs with their bus captains.
May 2017 marks a year since the first foreign operator, Tower Transit Singapore, started operating. Now, there are 4 bus operators running about 340 services every day across the city-state. But what commuters do not see is how the hundreds of bus captains and other bus professionals deal with challenging situations every day.
BOCC, someone vomited inside my bus, too smelly to continue the journey. Please advise.
Okay, BC, please proceed to transfer passengers to the bus behind.
So what does it take to ensure commuters enjoy timely rides? Peak hours, a time when traffic conditions are most challenging. That's when many of us have to get to school or work on time. This situation often keeps bus captains on the edge of their seats. Now, all bus services must arrive at intervals of no more than 15 minutes during peak hours. Fortunately, bus captains can rely on technology and teamwork to navigate through challenging road situations.
BC, you are very close to the front bus. Please help me to maintain a distance. Thank you.
Since the bus contracting model was implemented, every public bus has been fitted with the Common Fleet Management System. This enables the service controllers of each bus operator to monitor their own fleet that's running on the road.
I'm monitoring service 77. All these colored boxes that you are looking at, they are service 77 buses. They are currently running on the road now. What you can see for green, he's actually maintaining a good distance between him and his front bus. And as for blue, he's a bit too close to the front bus. For red color, the bus captain is too far from the front bus, so he has to close up the gap. So when I see the bus is in red, I'll usually contact the bus captain to find out why is he being delayed.
Bus operators are now incentivized to provide more timely and reliable services.
Drive safely, thank you.
Rewards are given to those who meet LTA's frequency and punctuality standards and maintain their buses and depots well. Those who underperform will have their service fees reduced.
Because of the bus service regulatory framework, we do expect the bus operators to manage their bus services, to slow down their buses if there's need to maintain regular intervals between the buses. This will help make sure that the waiting times for the commuters are not degraded beyond a certain threshold.
But there are times when bus operators need a wider network of support. In 2016, LTA set up a bus operation center to facilitate communication among bus operators. With centralized monitoring, operators are able to respond more quickly in times of need island-wide.
Ryan? Buses coming out to Tampines Central one is experiencing heavy congestion.
The bus operators control center will seek LTA's assistance primarily under 3 circumstances: incident management, service performance, and unplanned diversion.
Proceed with the diversion.
Yes.
So that no commuters are affected.
For incident management, for example, when the road is blocked by a fallen tree, it could be a bus captain who spotted it first and then report to a service controller who then call LTA, or LTA saw it from the cameras and we will alert all the bus operators and we will implement a common diverted route, easy for bus captains to remember, safe for bus operations, as well as minimize inconvenience to commuters. There are also cases that buses get caught in congestion. We will arrange such that when the buses reach the next junction, there will be green lights given to the buses to let them catch up on their schedule. In the case of unplanned diversion, I take an example of a recent major fire in the Tuas area. We immediately work with the bus operators to divert service 182. So they are now being diverted through Avenue 3, Woodlands Centre Road. Correct.
Major obstructions or incidents that prevent bus captains from performing their duties have to be managed quickly. This will minimize any inconvenience to the public. It calls for teamwork between the bus operators and LTA.
Sometimes an incident is encountered by one bus operator. So when LTA is alerted by the bus operator, we will immediately call the other bus operators and alert the bus captains such that they will look out for the situation when they pass by the location. This unified communication with all the bus operators is very important as we work together to deliver a safe and reliable public bus system for our commuters.
Timely and reliable bus services did not happen overnight. Senior commuters like Lawrence Pang from popular TV drama series Tangling knows that Singapore's bus journey hasn't always been a smooth one. Lawrence Pang enjoys commuting by public buses during off-peak hours. The veteran actor feels more relaxed in a less hurried environment.
It's not so packed, and I always get to choose the seat I wanted to sit. One of the things that I do is read my scripts, Tangling, along the way, memorize my lines, and sometimes I would recite my lines, and people look at me and say, this guy is crazy, he's talking to himself, that kind of thing, but they didn't know that I was reading my lines.
As a senior citizen, Lawrence gets to enjoy all-day cheaper fares with his concession card. But the perk doesn't compromise his needs for good service.
For me as a bus commuter, the most important things are reliability. The buses come on time. The buses now, they're comfortable. There's plenty of leg room. It's like sitting in a plane with new rules and all that. Yeah, the buses are very clean. Yeah, much comfortable and clean and nice smelling also.
During the early decades of nation building, Singapore's public transport was a shambles. Several small, disorderly private bus operators ruled the roads. They had neither the concept nor resources to provide reliable services and quality infrastructure. As a Singaporean who grew up in the 1950s, Lawrence has fond memories of his rather amusing commuting experience.
It's an adventure taking buses at that time, you know. They were usually not on time, and whenever the buses arrived, we were packed like sardines, and you know, the sweat and all that, perspiration. It was not nice lah. Bus conductors at the time, they were not a friendly bunch of people, you know, very fierce and very demanding, and you know, actually all the students were very afraid of them. I was pretty tall for my age at that time. And many times these bus conductors would demand adult fare from me, you know, although I was in uniform.
Today, much has changed in Singapore. The modern metropolis now needs to house and transport a population of nearly 6 million. Commuters' needs have become more complex, more demanding. In recent years, the role of bus planning has been centralized in LTA. This was to create a holistic, island-wide transport network while raising overall service standards.
We take on board ground feedback, including those from the residents, advisors and grassroots, as well as the operators. We also look at ticketing data, which shows us travel pattern changes and demand changes across the ground. The team works very closely with various government agencies, like the Housing Development Board, as well as the Urban Redevelopment Authority. The team would then design the various bus services to connect the new residents.
As an industry, the business of running public buses remains labor-intensive. Back in the 1950s, buses were not only uncomfortable, there were also days when they didn't arrive at all. Bus operators were plagued by numerous strikes due to poor wages and long working hours of their drivers. Today, we no longer face such extreme situations, but the welfare of employees in the bus industry remains an important part of the quality service equation. This became a delicate issue when the bus contracting model was announced.
Most of the bus workers, in particular the bus captains, they were worried about job security. Will there be a job for me? What will happen when a new operator takes over?
To help them better manage bus employees' welfare, the National Transport Workers Union and LTA went to London and Perth to learn how these cities implemented their models.
One thing we learned is that communication is key to transit into a new model. We conducted more than 50 engagement sessions, reaching out to around 5,000 bus workers and union leaders on the ground. The aim is simple, to let them better understand what the new model is about, but at the same time to also listen to their concerns and as far as possible address their concerns.
In 2014, the Public Transport Tripartite Committee was formed. it issued a set of guidelines to promote good employment practices in the bus industry. This was to safeguard the welfare of employees affected by each transition to a new bus operator.
We did come up with 3 key assurances in the guidelines. The first is that incoming operator needs to offer all affected employees a job. Okay. And the second assurance is that their employment terms offered must not be worse off than what they are currently getting. The third assurance is that workers have a choice on whether to join a new operator or to stay with the existing employer.
In the past, if a bus captain were to transfer to another operator, he would lose his vocational license and have to apply for a new one. Today, with the establishment of the Singapore Bus Academy and the portability of the bus vocational license, the bus captain has greater assurance that he's able to move seamlessly from one transport operator to another.
Employees aside, the other key stakeholders are the local public bus operators. SBS Transit has been serving Singapore commuters for more than 4 decades, while SMRT, formerly known as Trans Island Bus Services, has been around for over 30 years. Both are relying on their deep local experience while embracing changes in the industry.
The bus contracting model has lifted the bus industry on a whole, improved the bus infrastructure, whether it's bus interchanges or bus depot, and improved the facility for the bus workers.
Better bus services need funding. Employees have to be paid well, and salaries will rise over time. At the same time, commuters are sensitive to fare increases.
What we want to see is increasing service levels, but we also need to be aware that running a bus service takes money, and because now that under the contracting model, bus fares go to the government, this means that government has to subsidize any shortfall in fare collections. So going forward, my wish is also to see the operators achieve greater efficiency in their operations. So this in the long run would allow us to operate our bus services in a more cost-competitive manner.
We have seen how Singapore's bus industry is moving with the times, and how the entire bus network is so carefully planned and synchronized. The bus contracting model has set many changes in motion so that commuters can enjoy reliable and timely services. Join me next week to find out how better service and technology will improve future bus commuting.